Bergere, having missed last week, has the weight of expectation of the home crowd, and he'll start first, but it'll be a negligible start, which means that we are going to have a race on our hands.
You've got three magnificent cyclists, probably technically the best, leading this group out. Leo Bergere, Hayden Wilde and Johnny Brownlee. If they come together, they're going to shut this field out with a massive bike performance.
So Bergere, who's your tip here? Bergere, Wilde, Brownlee, all champions in their own right at the front. Annie, what do you think?
Oh, it's going to be fascinating.
Right on the fence as we get it underway here in Toulouse. And up goes the boom gate. Bergere goes, Wilde follows, then it goes Brownlee, then Ryder. Henry Schoeman looking calm. He has to wait a second, and he is on. Nina behind him, straight onto the bike, straight over the swim cap, and Bergere is solid and out. Wilde streaking down the black carpet to make sure he hangs on the back, beautifully onto the bike there, as is Ryder. Brownlee a little slower, and Schoeman wants to join that pack because there's a big gap after Nina. Back to Blumenfeld, Dixon and the rest.
These gaps matter. This first 500 metres of this bike course will set up the entire last stage for these athletes. You watch them gas it now, especially Hayden Wilde, who'll try and bring Leo Bergere with him and isolate Johnny Brownlee.
Yeah, interesting watching Johnny Brownlee take the transition there. He's favoured that sort of right next to the rails. He wants to get his feet in before he goes up the hill, where a lot of other athletes don't. We have one which what looks like a mechanical there. Is that
Ryder?
That's Seth Ryder.
Seth Ryder.
Oh, that hurts the American and the Warriors. Oh, and he's back on, but after all that hard work, he grinds his gears back to the top of the course.
He was right in the box seat too, just off Johnny Brownlee.
I don't know what happened there, but whether he came off or just dropped a chain.
Well, you're coming off that sharp, sticky hill, and you turn right into a left-hand, a slight downhill. That gear changes can drop the chain.
Because it's going to be interesting now, because Wilde, I'll tell you what, he's going to take a few risks on this course. He mentioned it in his interview just a few minutes ago, and we can just see now.
Oh no, he's come down.
Oof.
Just lost the front one corner before it happened to Taylor Reid. And that hurts, and you know, he's on the bubble, he's on the limit, Ryder, and that's what happens. Henry
Schoeman in fourth knows if he lets this get, he needs Johnny Brownlee's wheel. Johnny will chase these two in front. Both of them know that the two athletes behind them are better in the water, so they need that gap.
Schoeman comes in a bit hotter into that corner as they head up the hill to make sure that he can pair up with Brownlee. He doesn't want to see these two get away, and Bergere did this in the opening stage. Wilde did it in the second stage. That's the point to attack and to really put time into your competition.
I'll tell you what, those legs have got to be burning up that hill. I feel for Johnny Brownlee trying to chase down Wilde and Leo Bergere, but he's not giving up just yet. But Leo Bergere, wow, what a master of this bike course. Wilde at the moment just choosing to sit in there, but Johnny Brownlee's going to have to work pretty hard, and I don't see them pulling back now anytime. It's going to be, I think, Schoeman and
Henry won't help a lot. Henry's going to take Johnny Brownlee's wheel and ride it through. Both these athletes have to limit their losses on this bike ride, because they're both better in the water than the two in front.
Yeah, so Schoeman, you know, he's renowned, or he's been renowned in past years for, that was close, for having a great swim. He would feel that he could swim up to the back of Hayden Wilde in that 300 metres, especially given the water the way it is, but we'll see how that plays out. We've still got a couple of laps left of this bike. And is that Perham who's been lapped out?
Perham, I think,
and he'll stop at the black carpet up here by virtue of that rule. And there are a couple of others too who will stop. And they've been eliminated. Such is the pace at the front as Wilde continues to push his way up this hill in the third lap. And the French crowd continue to push Leo Bergere on, to not let the Kiwi out of his sights.
They are railing it. That gap has opened up. Johnny Brownlee coming around the bottom of that climb. It's about 150 metres, that climb. You can see the gap opening. They know this is all or nothing.
Bit of a gap there between Brownlee and Nena now, though. That gap is definitely growing. It's now 13 seconds.
We're down now to Rebecca Charlton, who has the managers from the Scorpions and the Eagles.
Tim, it's very tight at the front.
It is. I mean, you've got the Olympic bronze medalist going toe-to-toe with the current world champion in France, who is French.
It's Still all to play for out there, MG.
Can you see the tears behind my glasses? At the moment, my heart's bleeding. I've been mauled by teeth, clawed by eagles. I'm just getting hammered every which way I go, and now the bitumen's even biting us. I give up.
Tears of joy from MG, guys. Thank you so much.
He feels the losses, but may he feel the win at the end of this one. Schoeman and Brownlee have dropped right off the back, and they'll need the big swim to get themselves into this one. So Wilde will know that in this swim he needs to stick to Leo Bergere like glue.
What a run that'll be. What a run that'll be. If all things being equal, there's a lot of racing to go, but this is really setting itself up for a big race. There's two groups away with the big pack behind. Matty Hauser and that backpack. We're expecting a lot more of that COVID really playing on his strength in this race.
And it's interesting that neither Wilde or Leberge, neither of them raced last weekend in London, perhaps coming in here with slightly fresher legs than Schoeman and Brownlee, who both, of course, raced last weekend. But these guys, I don't think anyone could beat them on any day on this course with the way they're riding.
And defence of Henry Schoeman, he's taken a pull on the front, at least when they came over the timing mats. Maybe because they're coming over the timing mats. Just to prove you wrong, Blumenfeld leading a pack of 4. Nina, Dixon, McQueen, so a couple of eagles in there, a shark and a warrior in that 5th to 8th position as Matt Hauser continues to leak time off the back. Just doesn't have the extra 5% that he needs. Hayden Wilde has 4 seconds on Bergere in the previous run splits. So we have a look at where the short shoot is when they come to the run. 2 laps of the run, 2 short shoots to be taken. Probably adds up to about a 5-second benefit.
And you heard Tim say that's going to Leo Bergere. So that'll be interesting.
That's true. That could be what changes things, because the Scorpions do not have a short shoot to hand out. Of course, the other one goes to the Warriors and to Seth Ryder.
I'm just noticing that Leo Bergere is taking his shoes out, his feet out of his shoes.
What's happened here?
He thought it was the end of the race.
He thought it was the end of the fight.
Yep, and he's made a monumental...
Hang on, what's going on here? It is the end of the bike. It is the bell lap. Wilde's gone on an extra lap. Oh no! Wilde's forgotten. He's got to go back.
Oh, wow. Well, just looking at
so we heard the bell.
Just looking at our screen, it looks like we've got a 4th lap to go. But
He might be disqualified for that. We will see, because, I mean, we saw it happen to Vincent Lewis last year in World Triathlon Racing, and now it's happened to Hayden Wilde. He's got his lap numbers wrong, and MG is ropeable. Dear, oh dear, he's throwing the cap, can't take a trick. Now he's got to go round the back, and he's on the back of a pack with Chase McQueen.
That is terrible. Is there a bell lap? I didn't see that.
I think we saw the bell at one point. Now the goggles have come off and the wheels have come off the Scorpions charge.
All will be revealed, but at the moment, I'm not sure what happened there. I thought there was 1 lap to go.
Well, the graphics at the bottom of the screen said 1 lap to go, but we'll get a confirmation.
That was confusion. There was a lot of confusion. Hayden Wilde rarely makes mistakes like that, so...
Well, according to the clock times, it's possible that they shouldn't have finished the bike yet. So, we'll see what's going on here.
MG seems convinced there's a lap to go. He's talking to Michael Thompson, the race referee.
Nope, not very happy, MG.
Yeah, apologies for the language there, but you get what you get with MG. And Bergere, meanwhile, is out the front, continuing.
And that's Henry Schoeman, who's put himself back in this race with a big swim. He could close Idnos gap on Leo Bergere without question. An amazing swimmer under fatigue, Henry Schoeman, with someone to chase. Johnny Brownlee will tag those feet if he can.
Short shoot allocation down below there. Seth Ryder takes it, and Leo Bergere will take that for the Eagles.
What a tragedy for Hayden Wilde, who looked on amazing form today.
Okay, so I do have some insight into what happened there, because we had athletes that they were just overtaking as they headed into transition. The one board was still up for those athletes who still had a lap to go. The bell did ring, and they did do 4 laps, but the one board for the lapped athletes confused Hayden Wilde.
Wow.
And he went through transition only to realise halfway up the slope that he had done 4 laps already.
They shouldn't be lapped athletes. They were going to be pulled off anyway. I guess they should.
They were going to be pulled off.
Just after transition.
At that transition point.
Yep.
Oh, that's a tragedy. Racing error.
There we go, though. But it is about the Frenchman now in the water, being chased down by the Commonwealth Game champion.
Olympic bronze medalist.
Olympic bronze medalist. Oh, what a resume.
He doesn't have a bad run either.
He...
So the short shoot still goes to Bergere only in terms of this front group. And the last time we're probably going to see the QR code. So predict now. If your prediction was Hayden Wilde, change your prediction.
Look at Henry.
Because Leo Bergere and Henry Schoeman.
He's bringing that kick in, Henry Schoeman. He wants to close that gap if he can come into transition. Johnny Brownlee just been gapped. You see Henry's 6-beat kick come in just about, 20 metres ago, and that gap's closed to Leo Bergere.
Schoeman's gotten better as this race has gone on. And I'm not sure where people are voting for Matt Hauser. But out of the water comes Bergere, and now we have a 2-kilometre run to finish things. And can Henry Schoeman find another gear? He looks behind him and sees Johnny Brownlee, who's been running immensely well. But the only person with a short shoot is Bergere. Now the short shoot here in Toulouse, not as big an advantage as we've seen at other races, but that does happen twice. Dixon, McQueen, Nina, 20 seconds back. Wilde, I think you can count him out based on the firepower at the front. And it's Brownlee, Schoeman and Bergere. The crowd well behind the Frenchman. Hayden Wilde just through transition now, and he's looking at damage limitation. And he struggles with his shoe. Things have gone completely wrong for the Falcon.
And how do you recover after that?
He'll have a massive run, Hayden Wilde. He never quits this kid. He will dig in and try and take as many athletes out on this 2-kilometre run.
I predict him in 4th. And I think he'll overtake everyone in front of him.
He's out with Blumenfeld. It'll be a great race. The Olympic champion versus the Olympic bronze medalist.
Can he make up 6 seconds to vault himself back from 7th into potentially 4th position?
I say yes.
Yeah, I think he probably, he's got a good chance if anyone can do it. Meanwhile, out the front, Bergere is controlling this race, and Brownlee has caught up to Schoeman.
Yeah, he has. He's made up those few seconds he left in the water, but Leo Bergere striding away by the looks of things. But Johnny Brownlee definitely not giving up as he overtakes the South African athlete.
Henry Schoeman had a glance back. Bad move, bad move. He needs to run off the shoulder of Johnny Brownlee.
All right, now suddenly there's clear air behind Leo Bergere, and Tim Don will be very happy about it, no doubt.
There was confusion there, big confusion for Hayden Wilde, but not for you.
Yeah, I mean, the crowd were going wild. I could see them slowing down, and I could see Leo looking at me, and I was going to stop. I heard the bell. I saw the lap sign, the one before. He listened. He got off, dismounted. Man, it moves at 1,000 miles an hour, this game.
It really does. There's so much in their head already. And tell us about the short shoot.
I mean, I'm so chuffed. There was a no-brainer to give it to Leo. It means a lot. This is his first race of the season. I want him to take this advantage, this feeling of a home race onto Malibu and onto Neon, the grand final. It's not over yet. He's got an Olympic medalist chasing him.
Thank you.
Johnny Brownlee has overtaken Henry Schoeman, relegated him to 3rd position currently. And you'll see him come into shot at the back there. There he is. He doesn't get to take the short shoot. And I think just that gap looks too big. Would you not agree?
Yeah, the gap's too big. Leo's in control. He's composed. Johnny Brownlee will not give up the chase, but he knows that Henry Schoeman has a fight in that second lane. Henry gets better as these distances go longer. He needs to get that gap open and break Henry's spirit, which he's doing right now. You can see Johnny Brownlee really putting down the hammer now.
Just looking back over Leo Bergere's career as well in Super League, we started back, that first race in 2017 in Hamilton Island, but the real series started in 2018. Leo Bergere was 6th there and then 10th in 2019. And then he had a big gap. Do you remember in Singapore when he ran without any shoes on?
I was just about to bring that up. He's famous for the barefoot running in Singapore. That set that race up ahead.
Now it's called the Bergere rule that everyone has to run with shoes on because his shoes looked like mincemeat by the end of that run. He stuck it out, didn't he?
He did indeed.
10 seconds. Brownlee has gone right past Henry Schoeman, and now he's looking at a 7.6 second gap. But Leo Bergere is running with the entire population of Toulouse behind him. They saw Jean Leher, the other eagle, get disqualified in the women's race, and now the redemption for France, unless Johnny Brownlee can spoil the party with one of the great wins. Now Brownlee, and there is Wilde, who comes around the corner, but Brownlee has finished second so many times in this racing.
It's obscene. It's obscene, but I'm just looking back at Wilde v Blumenfeld, which is the race I want to see, and whether Wilde can close in on Nina and Dixon. It's at 6 seconds to grab those points. We're talking about series points here, so for teams, and there's a lot on the line for these team races, and that's what the managers are screaming about. Every position counts. You've got these podium places here set up. Johnny Brownlee just doesn't stop fighting, does he?
He really doesn't.
Never quits.
You did say Wilde would run into fourth eventually. That was your prediction. We've just seen him coming around the corner now on the heels of Dixon. He's overtaken Nana. What a phenomenal run. And I love the fact that he just hasn't thrown his toys out the pram and given up on this race. Running himself now past Daniel Dixon, who's looking very fatigued indeed, isn't
Look
he?
at Wilde. He's so angry. Look at the anger on the Falcon's face. He is hating every minute of this.
He's going wild.
He is going wild. That's absolutely correct. He's made an error. He is going to limit the damage, and he's going to run on pure rage fumes for the next 700 metres. And he'll probably put down the fastest run lap on his way there too, purely because of that mistake. He knows he should have won this race, but instead it's probably going to be Leo Bergere, who we cut to now, heading down the hill. He'll take the short shoot once again. Brownlee's not close enough. And again, the double short shoot for Bergere. There is Brownlee in the backer shot where he has been. And now 500 metres to go, and Leo Bergere will win this race. Johnny Brownlee will lead the championship into Malibu.
That's absolutely brilliant for Johnny Brownlee, isn't it? Finishing second in London, second barring any disaster here today. That's Schoeman who's behind him. We'd expect to see Wilde pretty soon coming under the bridge, as he does now. You've got to hand it to Wilde, haven't you? He's going to pick up some really vital points for the Scorpions, who are going to have a pretty good day in the men's race.
Not a bad day. I don't know what MG's concerned about. I think both the women and the men have been amazing. The Eagles have been tough to beat, but Leo Bergere, first race of the series, and just dominated all day. His bike handling was amazing. His runs were impressive.
He has. Leo Bergere, he absolutely loves it. The 2022 European champion, the 2022 world champion. He won already plenty of times this year, and now he adds a win at home in Toulouse. Leo Bergere, first race of the season, first win of the season. Johnny Brownlee in second position again, but will lead the championship with Alex Shee not here. And Henry Schoeman from 7th last week to 3rd this week. A big swim in the 3rd stage puts him into it, and Hayden Wilde comes across the line in 4th, and he will be very disappointed. Dixon 5th, improves on his position last week, and straight off he goes to talk to the officials.
Watch the footage. I'm standing right here. He rang the bell. The one that sign was up. Tippy John saw it as well.
Fiddly disappointed. He's such a winner, Hayden Wilde.
He rang it.
Yeah, I know he did.
Why do you ring it again? What do you mean?
He rang it, legit.
He rang it with 1 lap to go for you guys. He rang it.
He doesn't like it, Hayden Wilde, but it looks like it could have been just a racing incident. As we say always, there's so much going on down there. There was lapped athletes coming across the line. The one board was still up for them. And that's where the management comes in. That's where the manager comes in, like Tim Don did and said, Leo, slow down.
Yep.
And that's the role of a manager. He's picking up the pieces now, but that time was lost. We'll head down now to the black carpet.